Greetings, chosen ones. Greetings, YouTube. Peace and blessings to you all. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're out there in the world being more than conquerors, doing great things for your friends, for your family, for your community, all for the glory of God. So today I'm going to be talking about the spiritual battles we all face. But before we begin, if you like this video, please like, please share, and please subscribe, and make sure that the little bell icon is highlighted, and that way you are notified of any new videos I put out. Thank you very much. So every moment of our lives we face spiritual battles, regardless of our personal ideas, thoughts and perceptions. It's not a subjective perception, it's an objective reality, whether people agree with that or not. You know, we live in a world where we're taught, that everything is just a mechanical process. It's just we live in a physical world and it's just governed by the laws of physics. But actually, everything in the physical world is governed by the spiritual world, and whatever there is in the physical world has its origin in the spiritual realm. So if we try and run away from or ignore the spiritual warfare that we find ourselves in, then we end up as the puppets and playthings of demons. These demons will fill our minds and our lives with all kinds of problems, distractions and roadblocks in order to drive us towards worldly fixes, to numb our anxieties, and in order to convince us that there's nothing really to be concerned about or to deal with. Of course, these fixes are temporary, and demons are happy to give us the fixes we crave, but it's always at a cost, and that cost is our soul. Even those that recognise the reality of spiritual warfare need to know that it's not something you can just have as an intellectual pastime and have a knowledge of a thing. You have to live in accordance with that reality and move away from everything in life that gives those demons a foothold in our minds and in our lives. Demons will attack believers with many tricks that cause despair, weakness, laziness, apathy, weakness of faith, all kinds of deceptions, but most of all, they will attack us where we are weakest. Usually demons will attack us through some aspect of our flesh and try and get us to react in the flesh. But we shouldn't fear these attacks. Instead, we should be wary of how these attacks are provoking us to respond. And that is why we should always be Christ-focused. We should always be vigilant, discerning, and walking in the Spirit. Christ has given the believer the power to rebuke demons and halt their attacks, as long as we are walking in obedience to Christ. Demons have several goals. Number one, to attach to non-believers in Christ in order to feed off their indulgences. Number two, to fully possess non-believers in Christ so they can experience the physical world and commit sin. Number three, to prevent non-believers from ever becoming believers in Christ. Number four, to prevent or restrict a believer in Christ from ever being an effective Christian in the world. Some of the tools we have for spiritual warfare is prayer in conjunction with fasting. It's a way of harnessing God's power and making it move more effectively to overcome the attacks of demons and overcome their influence in our lives. When we fast, we humble ourselves, we subdue the flesh and allow the Spirit to work more effectively through us. So the takeaway from this is that we should not only understand that spiritual warfare exists and we're all in spiritual battles all the time in our lives, is to use the tools that we have, use prayer, use fasting. I know that Christ has overcome the world and he's overcome all the power of the enemy, and we can make use of that, and we should make use of that. So let's make use of the tools we have, the weapons we have. The weapons we have are not carnal but are mighty through God for the tearing down of strongholds, and Christ has overcome the world and he's overcome all the power of the enemy. So I hope this video has been useful today. If it has, please like, please share, please subscribe. Do leave me a comment below, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye.